All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're going to deeply unpack a singular and honestly incredibly provocative concept about human cognition. We're taking a magnifying glass to a very brief yet profoundly heavy piece of source material to discover the true meaning of one intelligence. You know, it's pretty rare that a single phrase can just completely challenge everything we thought we knew about how the mind adapts, but that is exactly what we're exploring today. So get ready. We are going to fundamentally deconstruct how we define intellect, resilience, and the absolutely fascinating ways our brains process adversity.
I want to start off by asking you to just pause for a quick second and really consider this question. What is the rarest form of smart? When we think about high intellect, what instantly pops into your head? Usually it's stuff like academic excellence, right? Or maybe complex mathematical problem solving, or even a prodigious talent for the arts. We're so used to measuring it in IQ points, standardized tests, and fancy degrees. But our source today, it forces us to completely flip this traditional view on its head. It sets a stage for a totally different perspective on the mind. One that isn't born in a cozy classroom, but rather forged in something much darker and a whole lot more complex.
And here it is. This is the exact statement we're analyzing today. One signs you have traumatic intelligence, the rarest form of smart. That is literally it. That's the entirety of the text we're drawing from. But hey, don't let its brevity fool you. There is so much profound meaning packed into this one arresting little sentence. It's a statement that instantly creates friction, doesn't it? It links a word we usually associate with damage, trauma, directly with a word we associate with high capability, intelligence. So let's start breaking down exactly what this text is trying to tell us about the human condition.
Notice how the text really forces us to draw a line in the sand here. On one side, we've got standard intelligence. On the other, we have what the text explicitly labels the rarest form of smart. The source doesn't just casually say this is a type of intelligence. It elevates it to a total superlative, the rarest. That implies that standard intelligence is, well, kind of common, maybe even easily attainable or naturally occurring in the general population. But this other form, this rarest form of smart, is exceptional. It suggests a cognitive framework that very, very few people actually possess, making it a highly unique psychological phenomenon that absolutely demands our attention.
Let's methodically break the sentence down into 3 distinct conceptual steps to really build our understanding. Step 1 is the singular sign. The text begins with the number 1, suggesting a very specific, undeniable marker. Step 2 is the traumatic condition. This identifies the origin, meaning this intelligence doesn't just pop out of nowhere. It comes from trauma. And step 3 is the rare status, which obviously confirms its scarcity. By compartmentalizing the sentence like this, we can really begin to see the architecture of the whole concept. It's this incredibly precise sequence of identification, origin, and valuation.
To really wrap our heads around this, we have to isolate the word traumatic. As defined here, it relates to deep emotional distress or adversity. By pairing this specific adjective with intelligence, the text does something fascinating. It positions hardship not merely as a wound that needs healing, but as a foundational source of capability. It completely challenges the conventional narrative that trauma only creates deficits. Actually, scratch that. It goes further. The source introduces the radical idea that extreme adversity can actually be an incubator for a highly specialized, hypervigilant, and incredibly advanced form of cognitive processing. Basically, in this context, hardship is the classroom.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the word intelligence gets completely transformed when you pair it with trauma. Just look at the standard definition, the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. Okay, now take that and apply it to a traumatic environment. The knowledge being acquired, it's threat detection, reading human behavior, and navigating pure chaos. The skills being applied aren't math equations. They're survival, emotional regulation, and rapid adaptation. We're not talking about memorizing historical dates here. This is an aggressive adaptation and a cognitive survival mechanism. The brain literally rewires itself to become smart in a way that keeps the individual safe.
When we trace the underlying narrative arc hidden within this exact phrasing, a really clear journey starts to emerge. We start with traumatic, origins rooted in deep hardship. Then we move to intelligence, which implies an advanced cognitive adaptation born directly from that hardship. And finally, we arrive at rarest, meaning this specific combination of trauma and advanced adaptation is statistically and conceptually exceptional. You see, the text isn't just throwing words together for clickbait. It's carefully constructing a profile of a very specific type of mind. It's a literal journey from pain to power, resulting in something entirely unique.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is this giant number 1.
It completely centers our entire explainer's focus on this singular, definitive identifier of this intelligence. The true meaning of one intelligence here is absolute singularity. Think about it. The source doesn't offer a top 10 list, it doesn't give us a vague spectrum of behaviors, it insists that there is just one sign. This singular focus tells us that whatever this trait is, it is the ultimate, non-negotiable hallmark of traumatic intelligence. It's the keystone. If you possess this one sign, you possess this rare intellect. No exceptions.
But right here, we kind of have to pause and look at the glaring grammatical quirk of the phrase one signs. Notice that plural signs paired with the singular number one? You might be wondering, is this just some random typo on the internet? Or is there a deeper, unintentional brilliance hidden in there? Well, let's assume the latter. The true meaning of one intelligence in this context might just be that this one core trait is so powerful, so completely all-encompassing, that it actually acts as a multitude of markers. It implies that this single core adaptation radiates outward, manifesting in countless different behaviors and survival strategies. It's like one giant root, but with many, many branches.
Okay, let's quickly synthesize everything we've uncovered from this single, fascinating sentence. First off, it completely redefines high intellect, moving it away from pure academics and straight into the gritty realm of survival. Second, it positions adversity as a catalyst, meaning trauma isn't just something that happens to you, it's something that fundamentally upgrades your cognitive software. Third, it highlights a singular identifier, insisting there's definitive proof of this condition. And finally, it emphasizes extreme rarity, reminding us that this aggressive, trauma-born adaptation is a highly, highly unusual form of brilliance. So, we've thoroughly unpacked the language, the implications, and the profound paradigm shift hidden right there within our source text. It really forces us to look at human struggle not as a purely destructive force, but as an architect of a very rare, highly specialized mind. So I want to leave you with this final thought to consider today. When you look back at the challenges you've personally faced, the emotional distress you've navigated, and the incredible ways your own mind has adapted just to survive, do you possess this one sign of the rarest smart?